Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're in a little bit of a different setting because I'm doing another book haul. I actually had a book haul go up like a couple weeks ago, fairly recently, and I picked up a couple more when we were like out on vacation, and I had a few more come in the mail, so I thought I would do another book haul for you guys. I love books. I talked about this in my last haul. Like, books are just one of those things that I just enjoy buying. Like, I love going to the bookstore, used bookstores, Barnes and Noble, shopping online. Like, I just love shopping for books and just having them. Books just make me so happy, and I love sharing them with you guys. So I have quite a few here to share with you guys, so if you want to see some new books that I've purchased, then just keep watching, and keep in mind I always have them all linked down below for you guys. If any of them sound interesting to you, then feel free to check out the description box. Alright, there's like a huge, actually you can see one of them. The pile is like, let me grab the pile. I'm always nervous to pick the pile up and not drop it. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. I was afraid that would happen. Oh, this is hard to carry. This is the pile. Dang it. Hopefully I got a thumbnail. Sorry if the camera view just changed because I just knocked those books over twice. Alright, I don't think there's much order to this, so I'm just gonna get started. This is the first one I picked up from Barnes and Noble, and I actually have two other books by this author, Sarah Bladel. I haven't read them. They're actually both right up there, The Running Girl and The Night Woman, and then this is called The Daughter. I don't know if that's a theme because it's Running Girl, Night Woman, and Daughter. They're all titled after women. I don't know if that's a theme with her, but I picked this one up because this one is set in Copenhagen, which is in Denmark, which is where my husband is from. That's where he was born, actually. So whenever I find books that are set in Denmark, I always think that's kind of interesting, and to have him like read words or names to me, or be able to like recognize different like landmarks and things that they mention. Like, I just opened randomly to this page, and oh, it says Club Intim promoted itself as Denmark's leading porn theater. Not sure exactly what this book is about, but I always find that kind of interesting. If you guys haven't watched any of my book hauls before, I generally don't read the back of books. I do when I'm like initially purchasing them sometimes, like if I'm just browsing, but if I've had a book like recommended to me, I won't read the back of it, and then I'll purchase it, set it aside for a while, and then typically by the time I read it, I've forgotten what it's about. I really don't like to know almost anything about what a book is about until I read it. I like to be surprised. So I read the back of this just kind of like briefly when I purchased it, but I know that it's set in Denmark, and look how big of a book this is. It's like, it's over 700 pages. I mean, I love huge books because I love like just getting so into them, and then I feel like I never want my books to end, so I love really big books. So that's one of the ones I recently grabbed at Barnes & Noble. I also picked up this one recently. I typically go to the book annex section, which these are not like on, I guess they're just on sale, but they usually just have a whole bunch of books. Like, mine has a massive section of these book annex books that are just like super marked down. So I usually always start there, and I find so many good books. Sometimes they're books that I've been looking for that I probably would end up paying way more for on like Amazon that I just stumble upon. So I highly recommend going to Barnes & Noble and checking there. This one is called The Good Daughter. It says it's by a New York Times bestselling author, and what drew me to this is I really like a thriller type book. That's like my main genre that I read, but this, I believe, is that, but it also has that really cool, I think I have another book in here that has this also. You guys know, I hope you'll be able to tell. Do you see how the edge of the pages are kind of like textured? Like, some of the pages like are a little longer. It almost looks like someone like cut the edges with a scissor. So honestly, that like drew me to this book. It's like the little things, I swear, like the cover or like the edge of the pages. I just love that about a book. It will just draw me to a book immediately. This is also pretty long. This one's over 500 pages too. So I'm super excited about this one. Apparently this is a really good author. My mother-in-law actually came in this room and saw that I had this book, and she asked how this author was. She's heard of this author before, which I haven't. So I'm hoping that she's good. We all know Harlan Coben is the man. This is another one by him. I recently picked up The Woods. I haven't read it yet. I have read one of his books like forever ago, but I know Harlan Coben is like the man when it comes to thrillers, and he's like a bajillion time New York Times best-selling author. This one is called Home. There he is, the man, the legend. And this had a review from Gillian Flynn right up here saying Coben is simply one of the all-time greats. And I love Gillian Flynn, and anything that she recommends or says is good, I will read pretty much. So as soon as I saw that in this book, I was really excited. This is also kind of like a thriller. I think it's about these two boys that were kidnapped. I think that's pretty much what all he writes anyway, but that's definitely my type of genre, so I'm really excited about this. And like, these prices are so good. This book retails for $28 full price, and I got it for $8, so can't beat that. Another author that I have read, I think a few, at least one or two books by, I think it's Elin Hildebrand. She has a ton of books out, and there's quite a few of hers that I have on my want to read list on Goodreads, because she writes a lot of books that I feel like people go crazy about, and the books that I've read from her I've really liked. And I saw this one again. This was in the Barnes & Noble Book Annex section, The Perfect Couple. I think this is like not new, but I think this is one of her newer ones. She also recently came out with, I think it's called Summer of '98 or something like that. It actually kind of has like a similar cover to this, I think. I really want to read that one, but she's a great author. I've heard like nothing but good things about her book, and this is also almost 500 pages. So again, a nice thick read. I actually really prefer paperbacks. Let me know what you guys prefer. Do y'all prefer paperbacks or hardcover books? I know a lot of people really like hardcovers for obvious reasons, like they're nice and sturdy and they don't get all dog-eared, but for some reason I really prefer paperback books. I don't know why. 95% of this haul is hardcover books. I feel like it's hard to find paperbacks for some reason, but anyway, yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. I love her. I think I have 2 or 3 books from Book of the Month here. This first one is called The Last Flight. This was the actual book of the month, and I almost didn't pick this one because there was a lot of good ones to choose from, but I chose this one because I think it's about these 2 women that like trade places. I don't know where they meet or exactly how it comes about, but one of them dies on the plane crash that the other woman was meant to be on. So as soon as I like heard of that like twist, that plot twist, I was like, that sounds like a really interesting read and it'll kind of make you think. So I grabbed this one. I think it's like sort of not like a mystery, not a murder mystery, but it seems like it's going to be a little bit of like a suspenseful novel. So I'm really excited about this. This is by Julie Clark, and this is probably one of the few not thrillers in this haul. I just realized that these are mostly like murder mysteries and thrillers, but this one is called Beach Read, which I'm sure you'll have probably heard of. This came out fairly recently and I feel like everyone's just been obsessed with it, and I've just seen this popping up everywhere, so I knew I had to snag it. I do like to kind of, even though I really love thrillers and suspense novels, I typically try to like maybe read 1 or 2 in a row and then kind of alternate it with some more lighthearted, just like normal stories. So this is definitely that. I love the cover of this too. The colors are just so pretty, and Book of the Month books are just so nice. I wish they would give you an option for paperback though. That's something that they should do. And then this is, I think, Ruth Ware's newest book. Correct me if I'm wrong. I have another book or 2 from Ruth Ware in here, and I have just heard everybody sing her praises, and I know that I'm going to absolutely love her. I haven't read them yet, but I know that she's also kind of like a really noteworthy thriller, like mystery writer. So this one looked super good. I also just like love the packaging or like the binding. The cover is really pretty, and then it just kind of goes all around. I just love how Book of the Month books just look. They're so nice. So I'm super excited to read this. I just know that probably once I start Ruth Ware, I'm like not gonna stop, so I'm like almost stocking up on her books in preparation for that. These next 3 I actually got when I was in Savannah. They have a used bookstore called what is it called, the Old Ladies Bookstore. It's like the Old Ladies Bookstore, or dang, what is it called? No, it's the Book Lady Bookstore. They put one of these little bookmarks in it, and it's in Savannah, Georgia on East Liberty Street. And like I said, I love going to bookstores, but especially used bookstores. I just feel like you can find such gems like hidden away in there, and they're usually so quaint and cute and have like little couches, and I just love used bookstores. So we popped in there, and I wasn't really anticipating purchasing anything. I kind of just wanted to look around, and there was kind of like a wait to get into the store. It wasn't when we got there, we walked right in, but then when we left there was a ton of people waiting. So I don't know if it's like kind of an attraction in the area, but I picked up 3 books that I kind of just stumbled upon, and I'm super excited. This one is the only one really that looks kind of used. It has like, you know, some creasing in the binding. This is called Her One Mistake. It says it's an international bestseller, and I did read the back of this, and I believe this is about a woman that was watching one of her friend's children, and while she's watching her, the other woman's child either gets kidnapped or dies, but her child doesn't, and it's just this like whole big, I mean, that's another thing, kind of like that other book about the flight, where you just kind of think about if you got yourself in that situation, like how would you handle that? How would you react? Like it's real life circumstances that can happen, and it gives you kind of something to think about. So I thought that was a really interesting storyline, and they were super affordable there. This was $5. This next one I also grabbed there. I feel like this one doesn't even look like it's ever been read. Like the binding is perfect. The cover, like it's not dog-eared. It's not like smudged. Like it literally looks brand new. Like it looks like it has never even been touched. So maybe this isn't actually used, but it was there. And this is called Dead to Her. This is by Sarah Pinborough, and it's something about marriage and murder and affairs, and that's kind of like all the things I love. I love books that kind of weave in like relationships with the murder mystery suspense theme. I love that kind of thing. Plus, look at this cover. I just thought, like, with the woman with like the glasses and the lipstick, and then there's somebody lurking in her view. I just thought this was like a really cool artsy cover, and there's a review by Harlan Coben on here saying that she's about to become, the author is about to become your new obsession. So I feel like when all these really good authors have like really good things to say about each other, it makes me really excited. So I can't wait to read this. Again, I feel like I keep saying that, so I'm sorry. And then the last book that I picked up from the book lady is this book called The Doll Maker by Mary Burton. Again, she's apparently a New York Times bestselling author. It says it's from the Forgotten Files, so I'm not sure if this is some kind of series. If you know, let me know. But again, this book like barely looks used. Like, it's nice and smooth on the bindings, and there's just like no fraying on the front or the back cover. I'm really excited to read this. I did read the back, of course, and I know that this is about like a serial killer that kills women and then like changes their faces to make them look like dolls or something like that. So that sounded super, super interesting. And anyone that's like a New York Times bestselling author, I know like a lot of people are, so it's not like the highest form of praise ever, but I always feel like I can typically trust really good authors like that. This sounds like it's gonna be really good. Just a couple more. I think that all the rest of these are from Barnes & Noble, I believe. This one I stumbled upon again in like the book annex section, and I was so freaking excited because this is the author of The Girl on the Train, which I just read maybe like 2 months ago, and I loved that book. I feel like everybody that reads that book loves that book, and I couldn't believe that I stumbled upon another book by her. Typically, if I've read a book by an author that I really liked, I will read pretty much anything else that they write because I'll trust them. And I can't believe like I didn't know about this book, or I didn't have it on my list at all. I mean, I haven't looked into her in detail. This is Paula Hawkins. I haven't really like researched her a ton to see what other books that she's come out with, but I know that I love that book so much, so I knew I would love this one. And look at the cover of this. It's just like so pretty. I love the colors and just the whole vibe of it. This next book, again, like I mentioned earlier, sometimes I stumble upon books that have been on my want to read list that I would eventually would have gotten around to purchasing either online or whatever. But I stumbled upon this in Barnes & Noble, again in the book annex section for $7, and this is called An Anonymous Girl. It has 2 authors. That's kind of unusual, right? To have 2 authors. I feel like I don't see that very often. I love this cover, like the yellow and the red and then the 2 girls. Like, it just looks so suspenseful already. Like, I feel like you can already tell. And typically the books on my want to read list on Goodreads are typically recommended either by like friends, or I've seen like the book Instagram accounts that I follow, they've recommended it. Like, I typically don't just add things randomly. So if it's on my Goodreads want to read list, I know that it's something that it has been recommended by a source that I trust. And this is on there, so I knew that I would love this, and I feel like you can just tell by looking at this that this is gonna be a cool like mystery novel. Next is another, actually this is like a similar aesthetic, like with the red and yellow. I just realized that. This is The Girl Who Takes an Eye for an Eye, and this is from the same series as The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. So it's kind of, I guess, I haven't like read what it's about, but it's not by the same author. This is by David Lagerkrantz, and A Girl with the Dragon Tattoo was written by Stieg Larsson, and this is continuing Stieg Larsson's Millennium series. So I don't exactly know what that's about. Like, this Stieg Larsson didn't write this book, but it's still part of the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series. So I don't fully understand how they go together. If you do, let me know. I haven't read with the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, but I have that over here, and it's one of the next ones that I'm gonna grab. So when I saw this one, I thought that I would grab it because maybe I don't know if they go in a specific order, but even if they do, I don't really mind reading them out of order. But I figured once I read that one, I might want to jump into this one. But I also picked this up because just like with that other book that I mentioned, it has like the textured pages that are kind of like all uneven, that kind of look like they've just been like cut with a scissor or something. And then last but not least, this just has such a cool cover as well. This is by Dan Cheon, and it's called Ill Will. This is apparently also a New York Times bestselling author. How just cool is this cover? It's like a matte black with, is that like water, I guess? splashing up. It has a review on here from the author of Little Fires Everywhere, which I just read a couple weeks ago. So again, whenever an author that I love loves another book, I typically trust them. I think this is also kind of like a murder mystery, or maybe not a murder, but just kind of like a mystery thriller suspense kind of thing. I feel like you can kind of just tell by the name and the whole vibe of the book. So I thought I would grab this one. Oh, cute. It has like little text bubbles in there. I like also when books have like little, I don't know, almost like graphics in it. Not like picture books, but you know what I mean. And then look, the chapters start in the middle of the page, which is also kind of interesting. Oh, and it's like, it goes by date too. I just love books. I just love books. Like, what is this? Like, why is this all in columns? Ooh, I can already tell that this is gonna be cool and interesting. Alright guys, well that is my big ol' book haul. I hope that you enjoyed. Like I said, everything will be linked down below for you guys to check out if you're interested. Also, please leave me your recommendations for pretty much any books that you've read that you've really liked. I definitely prefer the thriller suspense type novels, but any books that y'all have been loving, please let me know. I'm always on the lookout for new recommendations or just like new authors as well. I always keep like a running list, so I'm always open to suggestions and recommendations. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. If you would like to subscribe, we would love to have you. We have so much fun here. And until next time, I will see y'all in our next video. Bye guys.
I run away.